Hello, how you doing?
Hey, hey, hey. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. It was an interesting morning this morning. I had an appointment that was supposed to be at 8 o'clock out of town. So I changed all my schedule around and then they canceled the appointment. So I had to change it back around and I ended up having some more free time. And at the end, the free time went away. I don't know exactly how it did, but it just did.
Well, my morning was a little odd. See, it's afternoon your time, but it's almost dark my time. But I've been doing some cleaning, and then I had an appointment, and then I have another appointment, and here I am.
There you go. In fact, actually, you know that I had an appointment that I actually booked. I double booked. I don't do this usually, but I did
Yes,
double book for some reason.
yes, you did.
No idea why in the world I did that. But things like that happen. That's what life happens. Life throws things at you, or you throw things at yourself without wanting to. And I think that's kind of one of the things we're talking about here is not letting those things stop you or hold you back, right?
Yep, yep. Um, and a lot of people do that. They let the littlest things stop them or hold them back from doing great things.
Yep. In fact, it was kind of interesting that we were talking a little bit ago about when somebody decides to do something. Doesn't matter what it is, but they decide to do something and then they don't, and they have no real reason for it. They just didn't. A lot of times what they do is like avoid conversation, avoid engaging it, avoid trying to deal with it, or even say yes or no, or maybe they even change their mind. They should just tell somebody, I don't want to do this anymore. But when they leave it out there, it's kind of weird. It's like this, like a blue dot of non-existence.
The blue dot of non-existence.
Like a sea of forgetness or whatever you call it. I don't even know how you'd say that. But just it's like a hole that they just drop into and they just disappear. And there's this little place where they used to be.
And I understand completely because, we're both in business and we both have people that, like you said, become a little blue dot and just kind of poof, disappear.
And I know it's human nature in a certain extent, right? To do this. But sometimes I think as time goes on, there are things that have kind of developed into a habit that are accepted, and I don't understand why it's accepted. For example, they call it ghosting when you're texting someone or when you're messaging someone. They ghost you. And what it means is you send them a message and they see the message, but they don't respond. It's like they're a ghost. They just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Is
And
that what that is?
that's what they call it, ghosting. Yeah. And to me, it's weird. I get it. It's not, it's, how would I put it? To me, I would feel like I'm offending someone if I do that because
Yeah.
I should at least tell them, leave me alone. I'm done with you. Or I should tell them, whatever. Anything would be better than just, I got the message and I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Or, what I've been getting is you send an email to somebody with an email address that they gave you, uh,
Right.
and all of a sudden you get pop in your email and it says undeliverable.
So they didn't ghost. They just left the planet,
I
apparently.
just lost the planet. It's like, I don't understand why it is so hard for people to say no, thank you.
Right.
No, thank you.
And it's weird. It's almost a lost art to be able to communicate that way.
It has become, yes.
I wonder what it's from. I mean, can you? We're both obviously we both don't feel that we do this. Hopefully, I don't ever do this. I mean, I might get busy and maybe forget to respond to someone at the time. I hope it doesn't happen all the time, but not like actually repeatedly seeing and just leaving things without responding back.
Right. I mean, I try to respond as soon as I find sometimes my phone is wacky and I may not get a message for 2 days and then all of a sudden it'll ping pop up. Um,
I've had that happen too.
but uh, I don't understand how people can I don't know exactly where it came from on maybe. Yes, I do.
Okay, sure.
We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Oh no. That would be the worst thing to do in the world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but when that came out years ago, what about, was it like 10 years ago? Maybe even 15? We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's when people started not saying no.
Is that when everybody got an award and a trophy for participating?
That's when they started getting it. Yeah.
You don't have to win anything. We just love you because you try.
Yeah. So, people are so afraid of politically correctness. And I know we don't talk politics, and I'm not bringing politics into this.
Right.
But political correctness is you don't hurt someone's feelings. And people, for some reason, believe if they say no, they're hurting your feelings.
But I was listening to something just not too long ago. Actually, I was listening to Tony Robbins, and I think everybody knows who Tony Robbins is. I mean, he's out there. Everybody knows him.
If they don't, they should.
Right. But he's saying something that was kind of interesting. It goes along the same line, but he's talking about people that are from a privileged background, who come from money, or who come from success, or come from families that have this, and they never have needed or wanted anything in their entire life. They usually do not end up continuing that legacy because they've had everything they needed in their entire life. They don't know what it's like to fight. They don't know what it's like to go after. They don't know what it's like to deal with rejection, to be smashed down or whatever. They end up in rehab. They end up in and they don't deal with their problems. They just kind of let them go away. Whereas other people who've had, grow up poor with all this type of, anguish and all kinds of stuff they had to fight through and battle through, they've got that tough skin. They can go for it. They don't have to crumble when somebody says no, and they go after their dream. They go for it. They're they don't have anything to lose, I guess you could say. And so they've planned something and they're going for it. And so I think that when people did what you're talking about, what we've kind of done is created like somebody said, they've nerfed all the hard edges. None of the people know what it's like to get scraped and scratched. And so the kids that are growing up now are in a kind of a mind phase.
Yep.
Don't accomplish anything you don't have to. And don't try to do anything that you're not, that could be a challenge, because that might be hard. And so what is there left in life if you don't try for anything?
Not much of anything. Really. But then again, some people try for something, but it's a worthless try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by that? It's something that's not actually going to get them anything in the long run.
Right.
Or help them in any way, shape, or form in the long run. But in their mind, they're like, well, I'm trying.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've seen that happen. It's kind of interesting you said in the long run. I think that part of the problem is people don't look at the long run. People aren't looking 20 years out, 10 years out, 40 years out. And that's what used to be like normal people when I was growing up. Normal people, that's what we did. You had to think ahead.
Right. But then we can look at it at that. What started that was the in the now moment. You should be in the now.
Well,
and being in the now is good for some things.
Right.
But it's not good for your future.
Yeah.
In some ways, yes, it is. But in most ways, it is not.
Yep. In fact, it's kind of weird. There was a guy that I knew as I was growing up, and he was very, very successful in a lot of things. He had certain things that he put on his priority list that were very, very high on his priority list, and other things that were not as high on his list. But he took the moral issues, the moral things that he had that he placed on a very high rank on his list of priorities. And then he had financial stuff. And what he said is, in life, you have to live your life financially as if you were never going to die and the world was never going to end. Nothing was ever going to change. Things were just going to continue on. So financially, he's looking out forever and planning ahead that way. And then morally, with his values and stuff, live as if this was the last day of your life. And so if there was any conflicts, he knew what won, but he was always thinking ahead financially. And he was very successful. And he was really cool and well liked guy. So I think living in the now, like you said, some things are really good to join now and actually take it in this moment and stuff like that. But another guy I was listening to the other day says you have to earn resting. You just don't rest because you rest. I mean, if you go out and you work and you put in some effort and you're going towards your goals and stuff, you've done a good long week and everything turned out good, celebrate. Live in that moment. Live in that now. But don't put everything behind you and just always think I'm going to rest every day all day long and things are just going to come to me because I'm thinking about them.
Yeah. And see, there again, here's another thing. And I have to be very careful with this one because I do teach this. But you can't just think that something's going to come to you and not do anything.
Right.
I mean, yep, our thoughts do bring to us, but we have to, as well as, how do I want to put this? We can't just think, okay, I'm going to make $500 this week and sit in our living room.
Yep.
Because that's not going to happen.
Right.
Because you have to put any action or feeling behind a thought.
Right.
Which most people, again, don't.
Correct.
But most people don't know how to either.
Right. And I think what you're talking about, I mean, and some people get it mixed up, and I think this is where the careful phrasing came in, is that a lot of people will teach just think and it will happen. But really what happens is the universe will collaborate with you. And that's the key. You have to collaborate with the universe.
Yes.
If you're not doing anything, the universe could bring it right up to your front door and you don't open the front door, it's not coming in.
That's right.
You have to do something.
That's right.
And go in that direction. So I think that's one of the things that happens is mentally, I mean, two things happen. One, when you have that thought process and you're always thinking about it, usually you will manifest some type of activity that goes towards that. So somebody who wants to eat healthier is probably going to be looking for things that are healthy anyway. And then things will start showing up. And I use the example of when you buy a car. Once you buy a car, now you realize how many of those cars were actually around. Before that, it's like you never saw them. And all of a sudden you buy one and they show up everywhere because your mind has now a consciousness. You're more aware of it. But you still have to leave your house to find these cars. I mean, they're not just going to show up in your living room.
Or your driveway.
Right, exactly.
And that's true. It's things have been put out there that are just limited thoughts. They're actually just limited thoughts. And they don't, when they put them out, they don't like we can't hurt anybody's feelings and everybody gets a prize. These kind of things that have been put out there that they never thought of the long-term effects that it was going to have on people.
Right. And I think what they do is they end up actually making a damaging, I mean, it's nice to feel all warm and fuzzy, but not everybody can be warm and fuzzy. Some of us are not made to be fuzzy. and so,
some of us are not warm because, I'm always cold.
But I mean, I think that's one of the things. I mean, it's cool for everybody to have a positive feeling, but help people to be positive in the world they live in. Don't put them in a fake world. Right.
And nowadays, well, not even just today, it's been going on for a few years. There are so many people living in a fake world.
Exactly.
That it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. It's kind of, and it's kind of weird. It's sad because what I see in the world going on is two different things. There's one of the things is we have this technology, like we can do this right here. This would have been impossible for us to do.
Oh yeah,
a long time ago. I mean, we would have never been able to work the way we work together, and being able to be connected with people internationally at the same time, going live on different videos, different platforms, showing people, financially how they can help themselves and help others and all kinds of stuff. We would have never been able to do that on the level we can do it now.
Correct.
And you have all these people that are coming up now with all this knowledge already there. They don't have to learn this stuff. My mom and dad are like, my mom is Instagramming now because she's always on Instagram. That's her deal. My dad is like learning this new technology and stuff like that. For years, he was fighting it. And now he's starting to learn it. We're coming up with these people that have these intelligent minds, these quick-witted people that can take anything and just blow it up and take it out of, I don't know, make it huge compared to what we could have done. But the sad thing is this is also a generation that was taught, if you don't get it the first time, forget it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, I mean, if you could get a healthy combination of that quick-witted, new on technology, everything is good, adaptability, and then install in that person the same type of stick with it until you get it done. Keep fighting, wake up in the morning to looking forward to what you can accomplish instead of running away from what you have to do. If you could combine those two, the possibilities are endless.
That's true. That's true. One of our team members, put a really cool thing out today about competition. And I think people, and it's just kind of along the lines that you're talking about, get up in the morning and enjoy what you're doing, and, you know.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't understand, even the quick-witted people, that if you're in competition with yourself, you have an unending play game.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And you won't ever get stuck. It won't be boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know people that are what they call gamers.
Right.
That are always, and one of them told me the other day they did that for 10 hours.
Right.
Straight. And I'm like, 10 hours? Who does that for 10 hours?
Gamers.
That's what they said. Gamers. And I'm like, have you ever thought about, and I brought this up, I said, when you're competing in the game,
right,
do you ever think about just competing with yourself?
What is it?
Well, I never thought of it that way. And then it was really funny but then again, here's the thought transference, right? Then our other team member, whole different one, puts this thing out about competition, about with yourself today. So, wow, that just kind of dot connect.
Right. And it's kind of weird because I mean, I hear all these people that are out there. If you think about things, they'll get concepts. People will get concepts just like with the games. They have concepts, different things they're going to do. And I don't know what exactly there is a connect between one to another one, even if you're not talking about something huge. So let's say somebody decides, okay, I'm going to save for the future and I'm going to put $50 a month aside or $100 a month aside, whatever they've decided to do. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Then they don't start.
Yeah. They like the concept of what we do for saving. And they come in and nothing.
Right.
And you got to go, do you remember why you did this?
and when we talk about, there's a book we use a lot of times that I don't know, maybe people, if you've seen it, if you're watching this and you've seen it, The Richest Man in Babylon, it talks about paying yourself first. And this is a concept that when I first heard it, I was a kid growing up and I don't remember who mentioned it around me, but pay yourself first. And that was the first thing you had to do. Robert Kiyosaki is another person who talks about paying yourself first. All these people that are financial experts will say, pay yourself first. It's actually paying yourself.
Yep.
And I've never seen people in my life, I didn't think I would see people in my life, but they are there, they exist, they fight paying themselves.
I know.
And they will come up with reasons why they can't pay themselves.
And even in The Richest Man in Babylon, it's 10%.
Right.
10% of what you bring in. Now, even somebody that brings in, and there are people that bring in maybe $125, $50 a week.
Right.
Granted, that's not a lot, but that's $15.
Correct.
Where are you spending that $15 that you can cut out and pay yourself?
Right.
That $15 is going to, $12 to $15 is going to add up over time.
Correct. And I think maybe that might be going back to what you were talking about, living in the now kind of deal. They're just thinking about today. I got my check today. Today, I'm going to use my check to do whatever. I told somebody last night, I was talking to him and I said, sometimes you do like a lot of work, extra work or whatever, you get this bonus or like end of the year bonus for people, around, Christmas or whatever. So the first thing they do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to celebrate with the family. They go out to a really nice restaurant. They spend all the money they made as the bonus, all of it on one meal. Okay.
Yep.
So what they've done is they're so happy they got extra money. They can't wait to go give it to someone else. And so they grab the money, they give it to the restaurant, and everything they enjoyed at that moment was only that moment. And within 24 hours to 36 hours, it's gone. Everything. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing there.
And the thought that just came to my mind is that cow on the beginning of our
right? But it's kind of funny because those are the same people, like I said, that will say, yeah, I should be saving. Or I should be thinking ahead. I should be working out. I should be eating healthier. I should be doing whatever. And they all go through the should be list, but it stays there.
Right. And I think it's because people nowadays don't know how to do it.
Right.
Like you mentioned earlier, it's a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
But it's also a fear.
Explain that for some people that might be watching, because they might say, what do you mean fear? I'm not afraid to do anything.
Well, we live by two things, either love or fear. And the fear would be, well, if I put this away right now, I'm not going to have it for this.
Right.
Or I'm not going to have enough to pay this. Do you know one thing I learned over the years?
What's that?
It's because I do put 10% away all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything balances out.
Oh, yeah.
Everything balances out, and whatever you need shows up.
Yeah.
Can't explain it, but it always shows up.
Yeah, true. And it's kind of a funny feeling sometimes when it does happen. Well, especially if you're in a situation. I've been in a situation before. It was a while back. I think the last time this happened was quite a while back. But where I needed to get some new tires, I didn't have the money for the new tires. But I wasn't going to dip into something I didn't have, and I wasn't going to dip into something that I already set aside for something. And right when I needed the new tires, for some reason, the tires that I needed for the specific car I needed happened to show up in a place I was looking. And I also just happened to get a payment that somebody owed me they didn't send for a while, and all of a sudden it showed up. So, I mean, it just happened. Like I said, I think the universe collaborates, but at the same time, I was working and looking and trying to find a way to do this. So it wasn't just sitting back saying, I need new tires, so I got to give up on life. It was, you had to kind of go through it.
That's it, right? I mean, it's like at one point I literally had 2 pennies to my name, and rent was coming up.
Uh-oh. And so I was more than 2 pennies, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I was scrambling around trying to figure out how I was going to come up with the rent money. And a guy with a Volkswagen broke down in front of our house.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I got to get to the gun show. I have to be at the gun show. If you take me to the gun show, I'll give you the title to the Volkswagen.
Interesting.
Loaded him up in the car, took him to the gun show. We're thinking, yeah, he's not really going to send the title. Nope. Title came in the mail 2 days later.
Interesting.
The next day, we actually sold the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And had money for rent.
But it's kind of weird. You had to do something to get that, though.
Exactly.
It didn't just happen. I mean,
it didn't just happen.
So that presents something else. Both of us just talked about 2 experiences that we went through in life where we got things resolved that we needed to get resolved. But it wasn't actually the answer that came. It was an opportunity.
That's true. Yeah.
You had to take the opportunity to get the result. If
Yep.
you didn't take the opportunity, you wouldn't have got the result.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with, with the tires and stuff like that. So the same thing happens a lot of times. You show someone an opportunity to do something. Even with children, I think the same thing happens. When we show them opportunities, we need to help the children. If whoever's watching this has a kid or anything like that, or kids, it's the time to show them now while they're young to learn.
My mom always said you don't call them kids because that means they're baby goats. You call them children.
Some of them are. And I'm going to tell you something in Spanish later on that actually will and anybody who understands Spanish right now is cracking up, I guarantee you. No, so children need to learn how to do that. They need to recognize opportunity. And I remember when I was coming up, if you had some bad grades, you went to school and you asked the teacher for extra credit. You asked them to do something extra to try to get your grade up. You didn't just say, well, they didn't give me another test. You went and you told them, I'm interested in getting better results. So what can I do? Give me an opportunity to show you or to prove to you or to do whatever. And now I've noticed that children are more like, they're more like, well, you didn't get any. Well, why is your grade low? I don't know. They're not looking to find opportunities. And so that kind of scares me about the future for them. If they're not open to opportunities and they're not looking for opportunities, what's going to become of them when there's difficulties, when they have, bad situations or bad circumstances? Do they just fold up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty much they'll just fold up. Unless they change that habit as they get older.
Right. And I think that you hit it on the head a little bit earlier when you were talking about discipline. It all has to do with the ability to discipline yourself. To say, I want this, and so I have to go through this to get there. And I'm going to do it. And that's it. And I think we both know somebody, I forget her name, but somebody uses a thing that they came up with, this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or something like that, and then they take action.
Oh, yeah. Who was that?
I don't remember. Just the other day I heard her say it again. I was listening, so I forget her name. I hope she's not watching this. She's going to say, well, I made impact, but obviously not a big enough one.
I remember that because I was doing that for a while too.
Right. The 5 seconds to change your life. Just because if you take that mentality, it's actually, it's sad that we kind of have to do this, to be honest, because everyone should just, like in the past, we did it because our parents would have beat the crap out of us if we didn't.
Right.
To be honest.
Right.
And then that kind of made your mindset that, okay, well, I got to do it because I have to. There's no way to get around it. You just got to do it. You said you were going to. You have to do it.
Right.
And a lot of people got good results out of doing it that way. If I decided I needed to do something for my good, I'm going to do it because it's for my good, and I have to do it. That's my word, and my word is law. And then now it's to the point where a lot of people, and I don't know if it has to do with the just ghosting thing like we were talking about earlier or what it is, but they'll actually ghost on themselves. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work out. They'll do a New Year's resolution, which I think people don't understand the resolution. If they did, they'd stick with it. But they'll make this decision, and then within a week or two or a month or two or whatever, they're out. Game over. No, I can't do it this year. I'll do it next year.
And there are some things in that yes, I am guilty of that.
I think everybody's guilty of that at least once.
But I'm woman enough to man up and say that I am on live video.
True. Yep. Definitely. No, and then it's kind of weird because, I don't know. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's done it. We've all done that. But I still do the thing, like the maybe not. You know what, D? I just looked up resolution. And the first definition says a firm decision to do or not do something. So it's a firm decision. And I think that's what the people, it says synonyms are intention, resolve, decision, intent, aim, plan. So I think people actually don't take it as serious as they used to. It used to be a promise was a promise, and that was the way it was.
Used to be.
Yep.
Handshake.
That's right. So I wonder how many people after a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10 months or even 2 years or 3 years, how many people think when does your decision or when does your plan reach its expiration date? When is your promise not any good? When you're talking about something for yourself, like we were talking about earlier, like savings or eating right or working out or whatever you're doing.
But you know, I think that people don't value their self or even respect their self, and that's would be that would be a good reason why people don't stick to something like that.
True.
And that's actually pretty sad.
It's extremely sad. That's not, yeah, extremely sad. Because what it means then is that, like, well, even like we were talking about paying yourself first and stuff like that, that's another issue why people, or that's another reason why people wouldn't do it, is maybe they don't value themselves. They don't feel that they're actually worth doing it for themselves.
Yep.
But again, like you said, that's just sad. It's like, yeah, I guess that the word self-respect comes to mind.
Now there are people that would put archetypes to that. You know, oh, you feel worthless, and that's an archetype. Worthless.
Archetype?
Yes. Type it in, look it up.
You know I will, don't you?
Yes.
You know I will. Archetype. Arc like A-R-C?
Yes, A-R-C-H.
Okay. Type. Type is in a certain type of something, right?
T-Y-P-E.
It's talking about the arch of your foot.
That's not it.
I don't think it would be. Yeah. Okay, no. Keep going.
But they're, in actuality, pretty much what they are is, what they call the guilty selves. They're selves that we have within us that we let dominate more than other times, sometimes more than other times.
Right. Okay, I got it now. It's actually A-R-C without the H on it. So it's character arcs, they call them. Okay, got it.
Then the last time I saw it, they spelled it wrong.
See, now, if I would have done what we've been talking about, I would have said, it's just not there. I spelled it right. It's just not there. But anyway, go on. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're characters. And sometimes people get stuck in those characters. And they don't know how to release the character or to move out of that character into a better character.
Okay. And I think
you didn't know I knew about that stuff, did you?
I did not. Well, it's kind of interesting because the more we work together and the longer we've been working together, the more we find out about each other. And it's one of the cool things that I like about working, or one of the things I like about working with you, is that we have a lot of things in common, but we also complement each other. Mm-hmm. In other words, not just saying, "Oh, you look nice today." "Oh, thank you very much. You do too." Not that kind of complimenting. I mean, we tend to make a very good team as far as, I mean, some things you know, some things I know. We kind of work together, and we always come up with really interesting conversations. At least there are to me, anyway. Hopefully, there are people that are watching too.
Hopefully.
And if you've watched this long to get to this point, and we aren't talking in a form that's interesting to you, why are you watching? No. That would be a whole nother show.
But if we are talking in a way that is interesting to you, don't forget to like and share.
That's true. Yes. There you go. And give us more ideas for other things to talk about in the future, because this is a platform that we've just started to try to help people and interact with people, and to share what we observe. And really, basically, I mean, that's what we talk about: removing the bull. Get rid of excuses, get rid of things that people use, get rid of all these reasons that are out there that are holding people back. That's all they're doing.
And helping people to take a look at their self so that they can let go of this stuff.
Correct.
They can release it.
Yeah, because what we'd love to see is a lot of people actually taking action, accomplishing their dreams, accomplishing what they want to.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what those dreams are.
Correct.
Whether they're dreams with us,
mm-hmm.
or dreams or somewhere else.
Correct. That's right. So if you have any questions or anything, or if you have any suggestions, let us know. I mean, we're always open to things. That's one of the things that I would have to say of the two. I don't know of the two. The two of us, both of us, are very open-minded, and I don't think. I mean, there are very few people that will not judge you for any reason at all. But I think we're two of the people that really just don't judge. I mean, we have opinions, but we're not gonna judge people on anything. So you go ahead and ask a question.
That's true. We're not.
Did somebody ask you a question?
Let me see. No, it's an ad.
Okay.
That would be cool though, wouldn't
it? So I think we've been going for about 40 minutes right now. So yeah, about 35, 40 minutes streaming live. So I don't know. Do you think this is a good place to stop and we can continue later on? Next show?
I think so. Yeah. We don't want people to get bored. Correct.
Unless you're a boring person, then we just hopefully we're boring you to death. So let's see if I can stop the live share. And we will be back again on Monday, correct?
Yes, Monday. What time?
Don't even ask the time. No,
no, we got to let him know what time.
Let's see what time on Monday. Because I think I do have some things scheduled on Monday. Let's say around noon Pacific time. Oh, let me see. What day is Monday?
I'm already booked at that time on Monday.
Are you?
Oh, wait. Nope. That's Tuesday. Hey, that's good.
Hey, wait a minute. On the 19th. So the 26th is when I have the other appointment. So the 19th, I think I'm pretty good around noon on the 19th. Can you do that?
Sure. Okay. So 3 o'clock Eastern time, noon Pacific time.
That'll work. Okay. So we will see you guys there.
Putting you on my calendar now.
Nice.